Well, hello there, and welcome to this new series where I impart my wisdom on all things Olimar over some replays. Like this, for example, the F-throw schmicks. This is a little number I've come up with in my own time, but essentially on fast fallers and heavyweights, a really interesting mix-up you can do at low to mid-percents. If you're someone like me who really likes to read people, is you get red, you grab them, and you F-throw them. Now, F-throw sends at the Sakurai angle, which forces a tech chase if they don't know how to DI F-throw. What's even better is that it is a frame 19 throw, so it is barely reactable, and it's not going to be able to be reactable on Wi-Fi, which is where these replays come from. Speaking of Wi-Fi, Cloud, very popular Wi-Fi character. Quite an egregious character for Olimar to fight on Wi-Fi. He's got good out of shield, he's got range, he's got limit to reduce camping. Very, very annoying. You notice there I have a very bad habit of jumping out of the corner, which wary Clouds and other characters with good airs will exploit. Be careful. Something else you've bound to have noticed by now, I've seemed to have been able to tap into the language of the Pikmin, and suffice to say, it's quite horrifying. But back to Cloud, and my strategy when fighting Cloud is to try and make his spacing bad by using my movement, and of course, using your standard affair of using Pikmin to force him to approach in some way. It's a little bit like Martha and Lucina in that aspect. Limit can feel quite scary to deal with when you're Olimar and very light, as I drift in Diet 80 there. But remember, Cloud only has it for 15 seconds. It's something that you definitely have to respect, like Charge Shot, but as far as combat mechanics go, it's very tame. It's just a guarantor for a stock when Cloud's at high percents. It could be worse. Cloud could have Arsene, he could have Go, which, in my opinion, is probably the best combat mechanic for maintaining a lead or coming back. Shout out to Monique here for this absolutely beautiful edgeguard. I do love it when I snipe people off stage with purples. You protect them, they'll protect you. Those boys and girls, they put in some work. Fighting your way out of the corner of this matchup is definitely hell with Cloud's big range, but luckily I've learned my lesson from last time and I grab him. Something I think Olimar players could be doing more of is the white grab. I mean, Incel over here, he's got some big Incel fingers. Use them. In this respect, white Pikmin are the perfect conditioning Pikmin because they deal a lot of chip and they have a very big grab. In these upcoming interactions, you'll get to see me read my opponent with a couple of F smashes, but I definitely think your priority when ledge trapping with Olimar should be maintaining stage control. Don't commit to anything that is too overcommittal, like F smash, and you'll probably get a lot more mileage. However, the F smash was juicy. Now for a stunning demonstration of everything that can and will go wrong when you fight Hero. Another egregious matchup online in no small part thanks to Kazap and Bounce. It's not a horrendous matchup, although I won't discourage you dusting off the pocket Min to make the hero feel the suffering that you feel when you're trying to fight the person behind the controller and not the character. Bounce is sadly something that you have to respect. The strategy when playing against Hero is really to be a little passive, let him run his MP down, and once it's low then you can start being a little more aggressive. Even that's not a perfect answer though, because heroes can and will manipulate the RNG in their favour to get the spells that they want. Something I think is crucial when you play Olimar is keeping in mind the pluck order, especially when you're near death, because when you die and you come off the angel platform, that's when you can control what Pikmin you have when you come back onto the field. It's optimal to cycle through the pluck order to blue, white or purple, so that way when you come back onto the field you'll always have a purple, which as we know is the Pikmin with the most utility. Talking of lineups, double blue yellow, not something you see every day. As far as double blue goes, it's very, very good for conditioning and applying grab pressure. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to want to shield you when you've got two blues ready to go. See, if I have one blue, I call him Aqualung, right? If I have two blues, well, that's your Captain Beefheart right there. I feel like the blues have like these really metal boomer names, because they just grab you and they just take you for a ride, you know what I mean? I would definitely say during these downtime phases, when the opponent's off stage and trying to recover, I think that's a very good time to throw out Pikmin. They might air dodge sometimes and the Pikmin will die, but you do have to remember that Pikmin are expendable creatures. Something I try to do here that the hero ends up intercepting, I'm trying to use Wing Pikmin Dash to time out bounce. Olimar doesn't really have a lot of tools to time out bounce, unlike Mega Man who could just rush camp ad infinitum. You can try and be evasive, but the hero can close the gap. So Wing Pikmin Dash is something that they might not expect, although if you do it too much, you're probably going to get up tilted. Something you might not know about yellow down smash is that if you space it perfectly, it is -6 on shield. That is crazy good considering the hitbox is almost as big as Olimar is. Hero being such a high percent and having Aqua Lung in the front, you could probably guess the rest. And we end with another quite difficult matchup for Olimar to deal with online and offline, Marth, or Lucina, whoever you want to be. As I outlined versus Cloud, the strategy is really to make their spacing bad by using your movement, your typical bait and punish affair. I've definitely picked some of the most annoying matchups for Olimar to face today, but I can't really think of a single character where I would absolutely say you need a secondary to cover that matchup for. Olimar's got the explosive neutral, he's got the explosive advantage, he can really take on anybody on his own with enough time and effort. Although this isn't a really good example with the Marth just running into the purple, Monique dominates mid-range. You can throw a purple out and your opponent simply has to respect it because of how non-committal it is. I'll admit here my approach is quite predictable, not least because it's grounded. I should have really had the foresight to know he was going to jump out of the corner. Not just because I had the blue, but it's something that a lot of people do. Instead of keeping my distance here, I definitely could have been a little more cognizant of that blue and whiff punish the F-tilt with a grab. I've held on to that one purple for long enough. I'm harking back to what I was saying in the second game about being aware of the pluck order before you die. I was trying to hold on to that one purple to see how much damage I could do before I die because I knew when I came back I was going to get a purple. But fortunately things actually pan out a little bit better than I expected, as you'll see in a moment here. I come back and I immediately have blue, white, purple. A very powerful lineup, especially when Marth is at this percent. His frequent shielding should be an indication that I should start going for grabs a little more. It's something that you do have to bear in mind when you're playing Olimar at this level. You do have to be more aware of your opponent's habits than other people in order to capitalise on their mistakes. Fighting your way back into neutral with purples is a powerful option, but like any option, if you overdo it, it will become bad. Don't spam is my point. You see Marth trying to cover jump here again, harking back to the habit of people jumping out of the corner or from the ledge because it seems nigh unpunishable. I want you to pay close attention to this purple. Keep your eye on it. You notice how it just kind of dipped there and didn't want to come back? That, my friends, that is a fixing the Pikmin moment. Which, if you aren't in the Olimar Discord and have been kind of under a rock for the past couple of weeks, I've been maintaining an account called Fixing the Pikmin on Twitter that takes Olimar clips and shows to the general public why this character is inconsistent, in the hopes of raising awareness of these issues and Hopefully they might be fixed in a future patch. We're not asking for Olimar to be buffed, certainly not, he's a fine character as is. We would just like the character to be more consistent. And that's an even clearer indication that this guy's going to keep shielding when Pikmin are on him. Prime time to set up for a grab, but will I get it? My flowchart here seems to be stay at mid-range, control that space, and throw Pikmin when they get close. Purple Pikmin are definitely the reason why people hate Olimar. Because it's a frame 9 fireball that has no cooldown and can be plus on block if you space it right. Truly the apex of truly disgusting projectiles. Pikmin aerials are supposed to be transcendent, but when they're not active you can still hit them and kill them. This makes Olimar's aerials the only transcendent moves in the game that can still be beat by a non-transcendent hitbox.